This is WYMT Mountain News at 5:30.
Good evening, I'm Steve Hensley. Well, the dry weather certainly did not last long. Strong to severe storms have popped up in parts of eastern Kentucky. We do have active warnings, so let's check in first with Chief Meteorologist Paige Noel. Paige?
Yeah, Steve, we're just seeing a couple warnings starting to pop up really over the past couple of hours. One was a flash flood warning. Now we're seeing a severe thunderstorm warning. Let's go ahead and look into that. It includes parts of Floyd County, Johnson, Magoffin, and Morgan County. This still goes until about 6 o'clock. A pretty big warning. The National Weather Service says that this storm's actually going to, once it continues to move to the northeast, it'll start to become a little bit more on the strong side. For now, it's just producing some very heavy downpours into parts of northern Magoffin County, continuing to move to the northwest. Definitely some lightning and some hail could be associated with this, and definitely those gusty winds as well. So if you're in this area, make sure you are taking shelter. But there's that flash flood warning I was telling you guys about. This was over the past 3 hours. The area over into Pulaski County, this includes the city of Somerset, saw some heavy rain, so they issued that flash flood warning until about 6:15. They've seen a break for quite some time, so we'll see if that does look to expire here the next little bit. But besides those storms, we're seeing a few pop-ups over into parts of Floyd County, northern Pike County, moving into Martin County as well, and you're seeing some rain over into parts of West Virginia. As we look at satellite and radar, we've been dealing with these pop-up showers and storms, a little bit more soggy for our friends down into the Cumberland Valley, especially areas along I-75. You'll see cooling off for those areas that have seen rain, those 70s down into the Cumberland Valley, while the rest of us still into those 80s. Pretty hot and humid out there with those dew points also to the upper 60s to lower 70s. That's where we're feeling oppressive, and those feels like temperatures are closer to those lower 90s for some. We'll have a look at that full forecast though coming up in just a few short minutes. Steve.
All right, Paige, thank you. When we leave our cars unattended, we usually make sure to lock them up so nothing gets stolen. But when you leave your boat unattended, do you do the same? WYMT's Lauren McCourt talked with Fish and Wildlife officials about ways you can protect yourself from a big headache during the summer months.
As temperatures rise, people begin to look for ways to cool off.
About every weekend on the lakes when you see a lot of people off and hitting the waters.
Whether that be floating on your surfboard or a day on the pontoon.
You'll tend to see increase of boats, but the more traffic out on the lake.
The lake is a common getaway in the summer months. But what you may not realize is just like cars, boats can be an easy target for theft.
Just like you would a vehicle. If you were to go shopping somewhere or stay in a motel overnight, you want to take the keys out of your car.
Even if it's not in the water.
Usually what you'll find is when boats get stolen around your marinas is where they already have them on a trailer and they just have them sitting in the parking lot.
Which is actually the easiest way to get your boat stolen, according to Sergeant Chris King with the Kentucky Fish and Wildlife.
Where it's easy accessible, where somebody can just pull up and hook to their vehicle and take the boat away.
So before you hit the water this summer, make sure you take the proper precautions.
If you go to the back right of your vessel is usually where a HIN number is located.
Because you never know when your boat may float into someone else's hands. On Laurel Lake, Lauren McCourt, WYMT Mountain News.
Sergeant King also advises not to leave any items of value unattended in your boat. A Madison County man faces a long list of charges for allegedly abusing 2 young girls. Berea police arrested 35-year-old Marcus Williams on Friday. They say he was caring for the 2 victims. Over an extended period of time, police say he sexually abused the 2 girls. Williams faces more than 12 counts of rape, sodomy, sexual abuse, and promoting a sexual performance by a minor. A man is facing several charges after a 2-county chase. London police say an officer found Michael Lewis in an improperly parked car near Levi Jackson State Park. As the officer got close to the car, police say Lewis drove away. That officer eventually pulled Lewis over, but he drove off again. Lewis kept driving into Clay County, but stopped in downtown Manchester. He's charged with DUI, reckless driving, and driving on a suspended license. Preparations are underway for the 4th of July celebration in the nation's capital. It will feature military bands, a military flyover, fireworks, and a presidential address. But as CBS's Nicole Killian reports, critics say the president is politicizing a non-political holiday.
The finishing touches are being put in place along the National Mall for President Trump's Salute to America. He tweeted, "The Pentagon and our great military leaders are thrilled to be doing this and showing to the American people, among other things, the strongest and most advanced military anywhere in the world. Incredible flyovers and biggest ever fireworks."
It'll be special, and I hope a lot of people come.
But the Independence Day celebration is already sparking fireworks in the nation's capital.
He's politicized the 4th of July before he opens his mouth.
D.C. Delegate Eleanor Holmes Norton raised concerns about the display of military tanks on the National Mall. Those tanks arrived at a D.C. rail yard Tuesday and will be transported through the city on trucks.
I don't think it helps to have heavy equipment on the mall. Even if it were on flatbed trucks, because it's weight.
Some are also criticizing the plan, which includes a ticketed VIP section here at the Lincoln Memorial where President Trump will speak. But the White House insists the event will be open to the public and his message will be unifying.
Thematically, how wonderful this country is, our troops and military, our great democracy, and great call to patriotism.
The National Park Service tells CBS News it expects hundreds of thousands of visitors.
Certainly going to be more expensive than previous years. Anytime you get a presidential visit, there are inherent security costs.
The full costs of the festivities won't be known until after it's all over.
Protesters are also expected to descend on the nation's capital during the Salute to America event, which begins at 6:30 p.m. Local and federal law enforcement officials say they will be staffed to handle the president's address, protests, as well as the other local 4th of July events. The Laurel County Sheriff's Office needs your help finding a missing woman. 21-year-old Josephine Brown was last seen on Saturday off Kentucky 312, about 10 miles south of London. If you have seen Brown or have any information, you're asked to call the Laurel County Sheriff's Office. The Kentucky River Community Center is partnering with local programs to show the community that there is life beyond addiction. Today at the Perry County Park, the Rebound Center held its All Recovery Cookout to celebrate and encourage those who are struggling and are continuing their sobriety that they are not alone.
Because it is possible to have fun not using drugs or alcohol, and that's one of the big things that we want to show people, that you don't have to hide in your house and use to find any kind of enjoyment in life.
The Rebound Recovery Center also helps with financial assistance, housing, job searching, and reteaching life skills. They welcome people in all stages of recovery. NASA has tested an emergency plan for its Orion spacecraft. The launch abort system is the contingency that will allow astronauts to eject from the rocket during liftoff if there's an emergency. The SLS rocket is scheduled to carry the first woman and next man to the moon by 2024. The capsule fell back to Earth at 300 miles per hour during the test, but during an actual mission, it'll have parachutes to slow it down. The growth of fuel-efficient and electric cars means Americans are paying fewer gas taxes. States which use gas taxes to pay for road repairs and public transit are raising them to make up for the lost revenue. A total of 13 states raised gas taxes yesterday. The biggest increase happened in Illinois. In California, where gas prices have already reached the highest point nationwide, the state gas taxes also increased. Coming up on Mountain News at 5:30, a Lexington news anchor and Harlan County native celebrates a major milestone, especially in our profession.
And those scattered storms continue this evening and even as we head into the next couple of days. What about that 4th of July forecast and even the weekend forecast? I'll have a look at both of those coming up in just a few short minutes.